As we continue with our pre-poll coverage of the Meghalaya Assembly Election 2023, we turn our attention to KAM Meghalaya, a political platform that has emerged from the diverse movements and campaigns of the people for a just and inclusive Meghalaya. I caught up with three candidates that KAM is endorsing for the 2023 Meghalaya Legislative Assembly. Here's a report. Angela Rangad, an independent candidate for 19th South Shillong constituency. Rangad will be challenging the 3 terms sitting BJP MLA and Cabinet Minister from South Shillong, Sanbor Shulai. Kong Angela, first of all, welcome to Northeast Live.
Thank you, Aaron.
So, you know what? KAM Meghalaya, it is, of course, a citizens' platform with a voice and resolve to bring about the much-needed change. What much-needed change are we talking about here?
We want to use the word renewal. Meghalaya is in a crisis, and we have to accept this. If you look around us, corruption is at its peak, development is at the bottom. And when I say development, we have to understand that so many surveys which are done by independent people. So whether you look at landlessness is growing, if you look at the other indicators, healthcare, education, it's a slump, you know. So I'll just want to quote some statistics because it's really important, because people sometimes say that you're just saying it. But look at the data on poverty. 37% of our people are below poverty line, which means that they find it difficult to even find a single meal a day. Look at the data on stunting. We have the highest number of children who are stunted. It's a shame. Look at the data on upper capita income, for instance. We're just one slot above the last, 30,000 a year. And look at other data. If you look at all of this, you will understand that we are in a crisis and we need to do something fast to change that. And when we talk about development, it has to be meaningful development for all. The greater common good is what is missing in Meghalaya. Till now, representatives are there for self-interest. And that is how they have functioned, and that is how public resources have been used, to fatten up individuals, whereas the masses actually are struggling.
Right. Speaking, because those are tall orders, all right? Now, how ready is your political platform to fight next year's elections? We're talking about biggies already in the political sphere. How ready is KAM?
Many people, cynics, have said that, elections is something that can be fought, as you said, by biggies, which means big money bags, or people who use, the threat of violence or muscle power. But KAM is a platform that has emerged from people's movements. We have been with people. We know that not everybody can be bought, and we know that a clear alternative and choice is what is required. So KAM is here to present that very clear alternative. And people seeing this, I think, will have, after a very, very long time, a very clear choice. So we are ready. And, people who have money, that's all they have. We have people, and we also have commitment. And commitment is something that cannot be bought. And commitment is something that will see us through.
Sometimes when we question the system, right, these are just claims. So they're all allegations, right? And if they're not supported by, let's say, facts, then it just becomes frivolous. So what does your platform do so that people would understand that these are not just allegations anymore? Because it's just allegations, so why are we talking about it?
Yeah. So I'll tell you, the difference between this campaign and everybody else's campaign, I dare say, that even in our campaigning we are different, because when we say door to door, we mean it. We actually knock on each and every door. We don't just say, hello, I'm the next candidate, please vote for me. We sit down with people, we try to understand what is going on with them. And also, we take that opportunity to discuss issues. So earlier, when I was quoting those statistics, we actually present even those to people. And what do you think of these? And when you look at the stories that they're telling us, they actually corroborate all of that data, you know. So our campaigning is different because we're doing it ourselves. We don't believe that you should just pay agents to run around and, mobilize. For us, it's actually very important that we meet people and we talk about the ground reality, but also learn from them. The manifestation of these issues in their day-to-day lives. And let me tell you, it has been, for instance, one thing which has come across so much in our visits with people is this frustration of young people that they're not being given a fair chance. There is like growing unemployment. There's now the drug menace is rearing its head. And all of these things are interrelated. And nobody has actually talked about legislations or policies that will solve this for our young people.
And just out of curiosity, because what do you think of the BJP's new role right now that they're taking? When I say the new role, is there more of a watchdog within their own coalition? What do you think of that role? Then we don't need any more watchdogs then. What do you think?
So I think that if you look at the NPP and BJP, they're quite indistinguishable. Okay? And one thing about, I think, KAM is that we firmly stand against any party that is trying to spread hatred. Okay? And we know which party is doing that in the country as a whole and using divisive politics to gain votes. And here they're pretending to be a watchdog, but let me tell you, it's not just the NPP and the BJP that is indistinguishable. It is actually all of the political parties, Even the regional, who try to talk about being the ones, the saviors of the local population. I always put this question to them. What have you said and what have you done about corruption in Meghalaya? Just as an example, the illegal coal mining, which meant there was so much of our taxes, leaking, which again means that we don't have resources to better our PHCs, our dispensaries, our healthcare, our schools. What did you do as a coalition partner with the NPP? Did you raise your voice? And these are questions, I think, that are very pertinent because for people to decide now, they have to weigh all of these political parties against these questions. Because if you look at it, they're all together when it comes to corruption. They're supporting each other.
So the discourse of let's change status quo, let's make this world a better place has just become too overrated. How do you convince people that, yes, you're here to walk the talk?
I think, as I said, KAM has grown from movements. For me personally, as an organizer, this is not the first time that I am doing people's politics.
Right.
Okay? First time doing electoral politics, but not people's politics. And just by the fact that we have that experience and 20 years plus of commitment in fighting for people's rights is, I think, enough said, When you say, are you going to walk the talk? I think people ought to be weighing our words against the actions which we have undertaken in the past few years of our activism. And that is how they should then decide. Because you're right, during elections, everybody is going to sound almost the same when it comes to corruption.
Yes.
Yeah, cliched. Yeah. Everyone will be like, we're against corruption. But let's check their track record. Let us check their track record. Have they really been committed to rooting out corruption? Or even in their own personal lives, how do they operate? So that is what it is.
La news nem ngi la iya kajing terekam jong ikong nga day nong diamaran ngi support na marbale ngi iya kajing terekam jong ki but la news nem ngi don lang but ngi iya kajing long jong ka statement ta ba nga tangam nang ban keren politics nga keren kumur pat ba Ngiyo iya ka jinglong jong ka state mentaba khamtam ye ki ni ki new generation mentali mdon kam mdon jam ki haban mare shabar pin ya kran nadu ka education ne nadu ka health ladang mangi kum ki middle class ladang ngi pangi sitom ngi mare she ki sarkar hospital ro mentam don ni ban kum ki medicine ne ban le free test nadong hadong ngi haban le shabar te mata ka kam ka jam don ka business ka down lada muan da kita ki kortong ki ba sothu ya ka ya uduk usuk te kam mantoy tangi haban ya support ngi kwa ba ka state kan kala
gi mentan rius na mila don ngi bud ikong iya ya kalinti ka basya ka bahok bad ipen yang iru ya ka hok jongi takadaw ngi support ngi ya ngi man ka pot bad ngi ki jing tre ki jing ta jongi kaya da ka hok kilinti ki babha ki ba penyalam yang ngi saprang buon ki politics ki pendon kam yang tang ha kapor baki don kam yala di ondala dep ka kam kim itu tang ya ka dur khmat jong iru takadaw ngim bansi ngi hawat gi nong mi khmat ki basisha ki badon rengkat ya ki baduk basuk ki bakit lang yang ki batip ya iduk isuk jongi mentala andrius nem ikong yarap yang nadu met bat mensiam man la kapon ngi jenjari ka ke iru me badon rengkat bat ngi kim judon kinu kinur ki bami khmat ki manyalam nanti yangi lekin pen yangi ya ka ba ka jingsha ka badon hakani ka state jongi.
We also sat down with Kersoybor Pruto, the candidate for 17 North Shillong, a key figure of the new progressive politics of Meghalaya. Pastor Pruto, first of all, welcome to the program. So, from theology to politics, the question on everybody's mind is what prompted that decision in the first place?
No, if people who understands public theology, they will not be surprised. So, my theology is theology at the public square. So, therefore, for the past 20-25 years, I've been engaging myself apart from my ministerial commitments in the church. I also involved myself in social movements in the state as well as in the city. So I've been engaging with the marginalized sections of the society, the street vendors and the hawkers of the state and especially Shillong. I'm not the first nor the last to be in this, in this field. So, but politics for me is not narrow. I'm not a fundamentalist in that sense. I'm not a religious fundamentalist. I believe in equality and justice. So for me, electoral politics, this time also my campaign, it's solidly grounded on values which is justice and equality. This time, remember to vote for yourself, to vote for your future, and also to consider all aspects, because our belief, until and unless we talk about a just and equal future, I mean, there's no point for us, in wasting our time in electioneering and so on and so forth. So that is my appeal. Yes, nowadays, it's an open secret, open stories. We heard verbal stories orally that people are, talking about someone or the others throwing money here and there. But for us, and for me especially, I want to say this. I'm not going to compete in the electoral market, which means to buy people with money, to buy their votes, or to win them over through cheap means. Never. That is not in our DNA. So we are, approaching people on a one-to-one basis. There is a clarity of thought, commitment. Other political parties, they will just, pick someone whom they think that they are popular. So they will give him a ticket. So that is not our politics. Politics should be people-based, should be grounded on the ground. I mean, and there should be participation. So our survey form is one way of, involving people to participate in the electoral process, not just casting a vote on it. So for me, the success of my campaign will be marked by my ability of bringing communities together.
And Wan Pinhun Kharsantiu, who belongs to the Domestic Workers Forum community and a candidate for 16 East Shillong.
I have decided to come into the forefront to contest for this
2023 elections, because I feel that there should be a proper representation for the people. I've been working with the working class, several types of working class, ranging from domestic workers, construction workers, even though, yes, we associate with the street vendors and hawkers, and all types of unorganized sector workers. And we have seen that for the past maybe 50 years, none of the legislators have come up to represent, the working class in the scenario of politics. Government nowadays, they are basically working and busy focusing on issues that will bring revenue, especially at higher level. They are neglecting some class of people who are really struggling for their day-to-day lives. See, there are none among I would say, among the legislators or the officials who will speak on the need of really giving the rights to the people, the basic rights that they need. The basic rights like 2 times meals a day, the basic need that each and every family, they have the right to educate their own children. Even, for instance, let's say about domestic workers. Domestic workers, they have to struggle to earn for the livelihood every day. And at the same time, they have to also struggle to save some amount of money to send their children to school, because there is no proper schools, like government schools, for them to send their children for studies.
We've got big politicians, people who know the game of how to fight elections. Why do you think people should lend their support to you?
See, coming forward to fight for this election, of course, my objective is to win. Politicians will go for door-to-door campaign once in 5 years. I go for door-to-door campaign every day for the past 18 years. And I've been working with the people at grassroots level. I've been dealing directly with the families. KAM as a political platform, I would say the very first thing that brings us together, all 3 candidates, is that we have the same thinking, and we almost have the same experience of working with people, and we also believe in transparency. And at the same time, we also encourage people to come forward and speak for what is right.